Tyrone and Pablo plunge to the deepest ocean to discover the rare mermaid.
Here is information about Into the Deep. Deep sea explorers Tyrone and Pablo plunge to the deepest part of the ocean to discover the rare mermaid. Mermaids Tasha and Nico will do anything to protect the mermaid garden from intruders.
She expects Brianna just to bring her up here to see her, but Brianna's not going to do that. Now she calls her and asks her, but she never calls her and asks her to
Into the Deep.
She never calls and asks
Pablo and Tyrone are in the backyard wearing red winter caps. They introduce themselves as Commander Pablo and Navigator Tyrone. On the sea explorers, Tyrone finds a slide in the backyard, and Pablo brings a camera and gets undersea playground slide. On film, Tyrone tells him to come down, and Pablo does so. Tyrone asks Pablo, will you start the most exciting moment of the explorer lives? The day we will discover the mermaid. Pablo answers by telling him to get into the submarine while singing Into the Deep. The backyard transforms into an undersea coral reef. Pablo and Tyrone are showing the explorer caps inside the submarine used to bring them through the deep. They sing Into the Deep again. While navigating deeper into the ocean, they have reached many miles below the surface. They approach an undersea garden. The camera turns into the garden's owners. Mermaid Tasha and Mermaid Uniqua, a yellow fish is swimming towards the garden entrance, and the mermaid recognizes fish as the garden intruder. They try telling it to go away, but fail. Uniqua tells Tasha it used to move useful trying to protect the garden. The mermaid freak out. They start blowing air through their lips, blowing the large current through the water. The fish spins 3 times and are blown away from the two. And the area becomes dark as Pablo and Tyrone's submarine drives above the mermaids. The camera turns back to explorers. On their sea life tracker, the red dot signals alerting the boys the possible mermaid is below them. Tyrone turns the submarine around, making it face the mermaid's garden. Tasha and Uniqua are terrified at first sight. They thought the large yellow submarine was a fish. Now they know what it is. It's a submarine. It looks inside a glass window in the vessel. They see the boys inside the sub and think the pair wants to destroy the garden. The girls hiding behind a rock to not be seen. They make the mermaid calls. Tyrone and Pablo hear the noise coming from behind them and immediately turn the submarine around. Uniqua tells Tasha her plan to hide behind a rock in the opposite direction of the garden to make noises, causing the explorer to turn away from their home. Tasha agrees to this, and Uniqua tells her that soon Tyrone and Pablo are driving in a source of underwater coral garden. Transportation away from the mermaid's coral garden. Uniqua and Tasha sing Call for the Mermaid. Tyrone and Pablo start to sing as well, to make sure that Tyrone and Pablo don't come back. The mermaids start pushing the submarine away from the home. They struggle to hold the machine up. The camera turns to Tyrone and Pablo, who are confused about what is happening. Pablo asks Tyrone if it's causing them to rise up the surface. Tyrone answers no and lets his hands off the wheel. Tyrone and Uniqua push the large area full of rock geysers. They shoot water out of the sprouts. The girl places the sub and causes her to swim away. Tyrone and Pablo are worried that they will not be able to find a mermaid on the mission. The geyser sprouts, shooting the submarine out of the water, interrupting the boys' conversation. The submarine quickly falls back a lot of force to guide his push. The submarine lands on the seabed, leaving the submarine unable to move. Tyrone and Pablo put on scuba gear and start the mission for the amazing submarine. Seabed. The camera turns to Unico and Tasha proud of they did the explorers. They sing Our Garden to celebrate. Meanwhile, Pablo and Tyrone are swimming close to the garden. They spot the mermaids, and Pablo tells Tyrone that is to capture the mermaids on film. The mermaids misunderstand when Pablo said, I think that wants to capture them for good rather than the film. The girls start to swim away, unaware of the undersea explorers getting on them. Uniqua sees a small cave below and signals for Tasha to follow her. After the two swim into the dark rock cavern, Tyrone and Pablo do the same. All four find the cave very scary and dark. They sing, You gotta be brave. Uniqua and Tasha came to the dead and find nowhere to hide from the boys. Tyrone and Pablo swim close to them. The mermaid freak out enemies. The sun causes the rock avalanche. From above, many rocks start falling. The mermaids tell Tyrone and Pablo to get out of the rocks away. Pablo and Tyrone don't take mind and what the mermaids are saying. Pablo takes out his camera to get talking to mermaids on film. Tyrone and Uniqua finally grab the two of the rocks couplets on the ocean floor as they rise up the way out of the cave created by avalanche. The four image into the part of the sea above the cave. The mermaid garden, Tasha and Uniqua are furious and try telling the explorers to get out of the garden. The girls now see the explorers as garden intruders and order them to get out of the garden. Tasha and Uniqua also tells the boys to don't try to capture them. Pablo and Tyrone explain to them they don't want to capture them. Pablo tells them they just want to film with this camera. Uniqua and Tasha call the event a misunderstanding and allow Pablo to film them. Pablo's stomach growls. Uniqua thinks that the sound might be a whale. Tasha thinks it's another intruder. Pablo tells that was just his stomach. Tyrone tells the others that can have strawberries and yogurt. The ocean landscape transformed back into a backyard. As the four sing the end song, they rush into Pablo's house for a snack. Uniqua and Tasha open the previously closed door. And make the call of mermaid. Mermaid Uniqua, Commander Pablo, Navigator Tyrone, Mermaid Tasha. Into the deep. Call of the mermaid. Our garden. You've got to be brave.